Check. Welcome. 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 We good?
It's good.
Check. 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 Yeah, you can hear me. Take it off the thing. Welcome, Season 2, Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Ethan Cummings, co-host Sam Collier. Guys, we can't thank you enough. Your reviews is the reason we were able to have a Season 2 this year. Season 1 was fantastic. Coach, I'm excited to be back.
I'm here, man. I'm ready to rock and roll with Season 2.
Now, we've got some exciting things. Unfortunately, where games don't start to the end of the month, we won't have pick'ems until episode 3, but we have a few new segments to substitute the pick'ems for until we can get back in our rhythm. And at the end of the show today, we'll also let you know who won the pick'ems from last year, so you'll want to stay tuned for that. But most importantly, we have a very special guest here today. We have a new Hazard football head coach, Coach Matt Chandler, and his guest. We want to thank them for coming on before they even get on here. Coach, you got anything you want to add to it?
Oh, man, I'm ready to get to the show. We'll be right back with you here in just a short moment.
Welcome back, guys. We are here with Mr. Race Linden. Race, thank you for coming on the show today. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to start off your questions. I usually ask the hard ones. Coach Sam gets the fun ones. Race, you're coming into your junior season with a whole new coaching staff. Can you speak on your expectations for this season and what Coach Chandler brings to the team?
Yeah, expectations are definitely high. I think we owe it to everybody to bring out a good season. From last year. Really just how he came in and brought everyone together, got people out, and back to how he was.
Now, last year you led your team in tackles, having 96 tackles, 61 of those were solo on the year. What can we expect to see different from your game from last year to this year?
Just playing more as a team, I think. Defense was on the field a lot last year. Just playing as a whole defense and not a few players. I think just trying to lead them and be on the field as less as we can.
Now, if you looking at your schedule, this is one of my favorite questions to ask a player. Looking at your schedule, if you had to pick one team and you're like, man, I will die before I lose to that team, who's that team?
Definitely Martin County opening game. Set the tone for the season.
Most definitely.
Yeah, first game, home game.
That's a good team to go up against.
It's a good answer.
And then get a win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coach Sam?
I'm going to ask you some fun questions.
All right.
I'm going to ease up on you. So, this is one of my favorite questions to start out with. It's a new season. It's a new year. Hopefully you say who I want you to say, but who's your favorite college football team? Tell me why.
Gotta go with UK,
Yeah,
Kentucky.
man. Yeah.
Growing up, huge fan of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that they're going to have a good season.
Me
this
too,
year. I think they're
definitely.
gonna prove some haters wrong, especially, with Ethan being a Louisville fan and all. So, how do your years of football? You can go middle school or high school, either one. Who's a player that you played against that was just always like the best player on the field, or even played with? Could you tell me who had that dog mentality coming up? Who's the toughest player you've ever had
Well,
or seen play?
Definitely went up against some tough teams this last season. I would have to go with probably the Corbin defensive ends. I mean, those
Yeah, Kentucky
good
commits.
players. Oh yeah,
100%. Yeah, those are some big boys.
definitely.
They were
You
huge.
can tell when they tackled you.
Yeah. Well, Race, with the way that you play, what player would you say you resemble on the football field? Who do you try to mold your game after?
Growing up, I was a big fan of Luke Keithley. I just liked how he brought the team together and
Yeah, awesome.
smart. His football IQ was amazing.
Yeah,
It just
he retired way too soon.
definitely, but the way he could lead the team and
Yeah,
play as a team, I loved it.
I love that answer. That's a good answer. We've not heard that before.
Yeah. Well, Race, we appreciate you being on
Thank you
here
for
with
having
us
me.
today. Guys, we'll be right back. When we come back, we'll have another Hazard Bulldog here to interview, so you won't want to miss it. Catch you in a second.
Make sure to stop by Williams Optometry today. Make an appointment with their specialist, Dr. Debbie Williams or Dr. Kelly Bentley, by calling 606-633-4481 and pressing 1 for the appointment locations. Williams Optometry currently has 3 office locations. They're located in Whitesburg, Hindman, and Shelby Valley Plaza. Call Williams Optometry today. Again, at 606-633-4481 and press 1 for their locations.
This is Bruce Walters from Bruce Walters Kia. By now you know Kia is a great vehicle, and you know they come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So why should you buy from Bruce Walters Kia? At Bruce Walters Kia, we're going to change your oil for free for life. And what you do with that money you save is up to you. Come check out the 2022 Kia Carnival and the 2021 Kia Sorento, only at Bruce Walters Kia in Pikeville. Or shop us online at brucewalterskia.com.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Ethan Cummings, co-host Sam Collier. We have another special guest, Hazard Bulldog, Gavin Johnson. Thanks for being here today, Gavin. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
I'm going to go ahead and start off. Gavin, you're coming into your sophomore season with a whole new coaching staff, just like we asked your teammate. Can you speak on the expectations for this season and what Coach Chandler brings to this team?
Yes, sir. Just like Rice said, we just want to get Hazard back to how everyone knows it, just the good football, just making a run at state every year.
Absolutely.
Most definitely. Gavin, you led the team in passing receptions last year with 39 receptions, 350 yards receiving, but only 2 touchdowns. Can we expect to see more touchdowns this season, and how different will your game be this year compared to last?
Yes, sir. You can most definitely expect to see more touchdowns. I think it'll be a lot different. I've gotten a lot faster, a lot stronger. I feel completely different coming into this year.
Absolutely. The off-season grind is going to help you out to get more touchdowns.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
Awesome. Last question I got for you, and it's one of my favorite questions to ask. You look at your schedule, and you got that one team. You're like, they will have to kill me before I lose to this team. What team is it?
I hate losing to Pikeville. I can't stand it, so I'm going to have to say Pikeville.
Yeah, that's a team that everybody wants to get.
Yep.
That's a tough team. They've been the best team in the mountain for years.
That's a good answer. Coach Sam?
What does a pregame look like for you coming into a football game? Start from when you first go to school in the morning.
Yep.
Your routine all the way leading up to a football game that night on Friday night.
Yeah, so I'll get in bed early at night, obviously.
Yep.
Wake up, put some headphones in, go to school, maybe watch a few movies during school, just chill, hang out, and just lock in for the games.
Heck yeah, man. Out of your years of playing football, I'm going to ask you what I asked your teammate just a second ago. Who is a player that you grew up playing against or that you have played with that has just always been the best player on the field no matter what? Somebody that you just was like, dang, man, nobody can stop him.
Yeah, I I'd have to say Jaden Justice from Pikeview. I played with him as a little kid. He's pretty good. He's a solid player, good linebacker.
Yeah, man, 100%. That's a good answer. And then, this is honestly, this is probably my favorite question on here. With the way that you play, what player would you say you try to mold your game after, with you being a wide receiver and all?
Yeah, I'd probably say Debo Samuel, honestly. I can go out wide and I can get in the backfield and run the ball, so I can do a little bit of both.
Yeah, a little bit of a Swiss Army knife action. Heck yeah, man, I like that a lot.
Well, Gavin, we appreciate you coming on the show today. We hope to have you back soon. Guys, when we come back, we will have quarterback Max Pelfrey here with us, and then later on, you won't want to miss it, we'll have Coach Matthew Chandler here as well. We'll be back with you in just a moment.
Let the folks at Double Quick help you start your 2022 off right. They've brought back the Bourbon Pecan Coffee for a limited time only. You can also quench your thirst with the great deals on fountain drinks they offer daily. Double Quick is your one-stop shop for everything. They offer breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can stop by one of their many storefront locations spread throughout eastern Kentucky. Stop by and let Double Quick make your day better. If you've recently had a loved one pass, bring them to Hall & Jones Funeral Home in Virgie, Kentucky. We let you grieve in peace instead of worrying about a heavy financial burden of burying a loved one. Here at Hall & Jones, we have multiple chapels that can accommodate any size family. We look forward to helping you and your family here at Hall & Jones.
Make sure to stop by Williams Optometry today. Make an appointment with their specialist, Dr. Debbie Williams or Dr. Kelly Bentley by calling 606-633-4481 and pressing 1 for the appointment locations. Williams Optometry currently has 3 office locations. They're located in Whitesburg, Hindman, and Shelby Valley Plaza. Call Williams Optometry today. Again, at 606-633-4481 and press 1 for their locations.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Ethan Cummings, co-host Sam Collier, and another special guest, quarterback Max Pelfrey. Thanks for coming on today, Max. We appreciate it. Max, I'm going to go ahead and start off. You're coming into your senior season with a whole new coaching staff, right? You're going to have Coach Chandler. Can you speak to the expectations he's provided you guys with so far, and what Coach Chandler and his staff bring to this team?
He really wants to get Hazard football back on track where it's been in the past years and just really get it going back. And then they really bring a really energetic offense to the team and a lot of energy.
That's awesome. Max, we know last season that you had to deal with some injuries throughout the year, but you still managed to have 1,171 passing yards, 8 touchdowns, but had 17 interceptions. How do you plan to have less interceptions this season and get your numbers where you want them to be?
The system's going to say a lot. That's really going to help.
The system can show what we need to see. Absolutely.
Well, this is another. I've asked this to your other 2 teammates, so I'm going to ask it to you. It's my favorite question. You look at your schedule and, there's that one team that you're like, man, we have to beat them. I will die before I let us lose to them. Who would it be?
Oh, yeah, always that first game of the season.
Always
Martin
first.
County.
Man, I ain't had no Letcher Centrals. I swear. I thought for sure one of y'all would say Letcher Central. But that's awesome. That's a good answer. Coach?
I'm going to ask you what I just asked your teammate a minute ago. What's a pregame look like for Max Pelfrey?
Just wake up, get a good breakfast. Like Gavin said, throwing some headphones on and get your mind right and stay calm.
What's the music that you listen to get ready, pumped for the game? Put you on the spot here.
I don't really try to get too pumped.
You don't try to get too pumped?
No.
Try to listen to some chill music, maybe some Chris Stapleton or something, Okay. Out of your years of playing football, what is a team that you have went up against, and every time you've ever went up against them, no matter what, they've always been super tough, and they just was always somebody that you honestly dreaded playing against?
I wouldn't say I've really dreaded playing against them, probably Pikeview.
That is a tough team to play against, 100%. And with the way that you play, at the quarterback position, who would you try to say that you mold your game after? Somebody that you look up to and try to try to play like, or somebody that you would say that you even resemble?
Probably Josh Allen.
Josh Allen? Oh yeah, man, he's big, but he's got wheels.
Yep.
Absolutely, man. I love that.
Well, Max, we appreciate you coming on today. Guys, up next we'll have Coach Matthew Chandler on board, and then later on we'll have hot takes. This year we have not only college and pro hot takes, but we also have high school hot takes, so you won't want to miss that. We're back with you in just a moment.
This is where it all started, right here on this farm. We may have grown over the years, but we've never lost sight of what was important to us. We're continuing that tradition today, and we always will be for generations to come.
MGC Supply is your complete source for drainage and erosion control products. MGC Supply also sells services and installs Cummins generators. MGC Supply sells and delivers limestone gravel for businesses and homeowners. MGC Supply is your solution supplier and is proud to sponsor all the teams in Eastern Kentucky. 2590 U.S. Highway 23 South Pottsville, Kentucky, 41501. Give them a call today at 606-433-0077. Or you can call them at 606-794-6765.
Make sure to stop by Williams Optometry today. Make an appointment with their specialist, Dr. Debbie Williams or Dr. Kelly Bentley, by calling 606-633-4481 and pressing 1 for the appointment locations. Williams Optometry currently has 3 office locations. They're located in Whitesburg, Hindman, and Shelby Valley Plaza. Call Williams Optometry today. Again, at 606-633-4481 and press 1 for their locations.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner, Episode 1, Season 2. I'm your host, Ethan Cummings, co-host Sam Collier, and then very special guest, Coach Matthew Chandler. Coach, thanks for being here with us today. We appreciate you.
No problem. I appreciate you guys having us on.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and dive into this, Coach. You're coming into a program that only won 1 game last season. What are some changes that you plan to make, and how do you plan to compete in 1A this season?
You know, I think the biggest thing was just some structural things, some day-to-day things. Trying to get back to a point where there's a real sense of accountability, and there's a lot of work being done every day. You know, we started in February at 6:30 a.m. on a Monday morning. Had great numbers in the weight room, and just, you know, we haven't really looked back since then. And that was really the foundation of getting back to a point where we're going to work for everything that we earn, and there's going to be a sense of accountability there where guys are going to be confident that they put in the amount of work necessary to go achieve something really special.
Well, we know that you're coming into this new program with also a new staff. Can you speak on your staff members and what your expectations and goals are for them?
Yeah, we were able to keep some staff members from last year. We've got a couple of guys who are also pulling some double duty, doing middle school and high school. And then we added Coach Jalen Williams from Letcher County, and he's been a huge addition. He relates really well to the kids, but holds them to a high standard as far as accountability. Coach Corey Martin is calling their defense. He was on staff last year as a defensive line coach, and he's done an outstanding job so far of keeping things really simple. We've got a system that we play within and we adjust from. So far I've been really pleased with those guys. I ask a lot out of those guys, probably more than a lot of head coaches, but they've definitely responded and gotten a lot out of our kids.
Absolutely. Let's talk about your sophomore, Gavin Johnson, the one we just interviewed earlier. Speak a little on his game, and tell me what you've seen from him this year from what you've seen last year, on the sidelines, not coaching.
Yeah, looking at the film, it was obvious that he was an explosive athlete on both sides of the ball and a guy that could make plays. And then, the biggest thing for me since I've gotten here is it's just constant work. I mean, him, and it's not just Gavin, it's a number of our guys that are constantly not just working for us, and like I said, we have a very high standard, and we really, we put in a lot of work and a lot of time and effort. But Gavin, along with several other guys, are always, Coach, can I get the lights on? We want to go run routes. We want to go get extra work in. Oh yeah, and we've got a ton of guys who want nothing more than to get this program back where it's supposed to be, and he's one of them. And we've got other guys, especially skill position guys who are also going to be very difficult to defend. So I think that's going to open up the potential for a really big year for Gavin, because you can't, with the guys we have at the skill positions, it's really hard to just focus on Gavin or any one particular guy.
You're going to have a young team too.
Very young. We're going to be very sophomore heavy. We're starting a bunch of freshmen, but it's really not a bad spot to be in. If there's a place you can do it, it's in 1A football. And two, it allows us to really hold those guys to a standard and make sure that everybody in the program knows that, if you can play, you can play. And I tell our guys that all the time from a depth standpoint. If there's something you can do to help this team, that's what you're going to do. And I'm going to, make sure that we utilize your skill set however we need to help us be successful.
Absolutely. Now, I know y'all haven't played a full game in pads or anything yet, but y'all been doing some 7-on-7.
Yeah, we've
Tell
thrown
us
a lot.
About how that's been going for y'all this season, with 7-on-7. And from another thing, before I stop, I heard that 7-on-7 could be a year-round thing.
So there are some, there's some travel leagues that are kind of popping up, almost like AAU with 7-on-7.
I mean, technically that's
yeah. And then, for us, we can start coming back from the dead period throwing against other teams. And we went to Shelby Valley, and we had an okay day. We competed. We went through some growing pains. It was the first time since I've been here that we competed in anything against another team. And we had some drops, and it looked ugly at times. Then we went to Eastern, and we really, really competed well at Eastern. We, played Somerset and Taylor County and West Carter, and then competed really, really well with Corbin in the first round. Was really pleased with that. And then we ended last Friday with 7-on-7 at our place with Pineville and Harlan and Knott County. And it was really good for our guys to get a look at, especially with Pineville and Harlan.
Two teams that are all
right, and they're in our cross district too. So, those are potential playoff opponents for us. And it was good to see us how we measure up to teams within our class that we're going to have to beat when it counts in November.
Absolutely. 7-on-7 is one of those things where, like you said, it's growing pains. You get to figure out what's going on now early in the season and fix it by the time the season starts.
Right, and I've always been a big believer that, especially the tournaments for 7-on-7, there are times, depending on your situation with your team, when you don't get a lot out of it. But I think we're in a position this year where it was important for us in terms of building mental toughness and competitiveness to go out and play those and go out and play well. And I think we did. I think we improved. It put us way ahead as far as, operationally on offense in our system. And it was a really good experience for our guys.
That's awesome.
Coach, we know that you've been, we know that you've coached here in the 14th region before, being the offense coordinator at Letcher Central, head coaching here at Jenkins, and your family just has a rich tradition here in the mountains coaching football. What made you, because your last couple stops haven't been here in the mountains, what made you want to come back to the mountains and coach? Also, how will it feel going up against one of your old teams at Letcher Central?
My wife and I and our family, we really didn't have any intentions to leave Franklin County. We loved it. I worked for a really good head coach, and we played in 3 straight semifinals, and it was just a tremendous experience. But Hazard was one of those jobs in football, and I won't even just say in 1A, but in terms of the entire state, that when they call, you listen.
That's right.
And being from the mountains, it was always, coaches have a list, right? Of, there's 1 or 2 jobs that if they call, you're going to listen and you're going to consider it. And, when Hazard called, I absolutely listened. And the more we thought about it, the more it just made sense for our family. Oh, yeah. We got 2 little boys. One of them's running around here somewhere who are closer to grandparents. And, like I said, I think this is one of the best gigs in the state. And it was just something I couldn't pass up. There'll be a lot of emotions that week of the Letcher Central game. To be honest, it'll be a challenge that week for not just me, but for, other coaches and players on staff, or coaches on staff and players, to not have it be something emotional, to treat it like any other game in terms of preparation and everything. But, and it'll be a big deal too, because we're not playing in the 25-26 alignment, so it'll be at least 27 before we play them again. So
Well, and it's always that game, the Hazard and Letcher, even before now, has always been a game. Like, I remember, even when I was in school, I remember going, like, we have to go watch Hazard and Letcher play because there was always, like, it was just so physical.
Yeah.
Right? That game is always so physical. There's always blood to be. That's why I thought earlier when we was interviewing one of your boys, I was like, I can't believe nobody said Letcher, because that's always been a
And
big
you looked
rivalry.
right at me when you said it, and I was just like, I would probably be closer to my answer, but no, and they're going to be a really good football team, man. We actually saw them at Shelby Valley in 7-on-7, and they've got guys that can run. Going to be really good in the skill positions. So it'll be a really big challenge, but it's definitely a game that we have circled. They'll have circled, and that's the great thing about rivalries, right? I mean, everybody's looking forward to that game, and hopefully.
Usually a sold-out crowd every time.
Oh yeah, and man, if the support that I've had so far has been incredible. If we were to have some success early in the season leading into that game, it'll be absolutely nuts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, awesome. We got to take a short break. When we come back, hold up, we still got questions for Coach Chandler. He'll be with us. We're just going to take a short break. Be back with you in a minute.
Make sure to stop by Williams Optometry today. Make an appointment with their specialist, Dr. Debbie Williams or Dr. Kelly Bentley, by calling 606-633-4481 and pressing 1 for the appointment locations. Williams Optometry currently has 3 office locations. They're located in Whitesburg, Hindman, and Shelby Valley Plaza. Call Williams Optometry today. Again, at 606-633-4481 and press 1 for their locations.
Let the folks at Double Quick help you start your 2022 off right. They've brought back the Bourbon Pecan Coffee for a limited time only. You can also quench your thirst with the great deals on fountain drinks they offer daily. Double Quick is your one-stop shop for everything. They offer breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can stop by one of their many storefront locations spread throughout eastern Kentucky. Stop by and let Double Quick make your day better.
If you've recently had a loved one pass, bring them to Hall & Jones Funeral Home in Virgie, Kentucky. We let you grieve in peace instead of worrying about a heavy financial burden of burying a loved one. Here at Hall & Jones, we have multiple chapels that can accommodate any size family. We look forward to helping you and your family here at Hall & Jones.
This is Bruce Walters from Bruce Walters Kia. By now, you know Kia is a great vehicle, and you know they come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So why should you buy from Bruce Walters Kia? At Bruce Walters Kia, we're going to change your oil for free for life. And what you do with that money you save is up to you. Come check out the 2022 Kia Carnival and the 2021 Kia Sorento. Only at Bruce Walters Kia in Pikeville. Or shop us online at brucewalterskia.com.
MGC Supply is your complete source for drainage and erosion control products. MGC Supply also sells services and installs Cummins generators. MGC Supply sells and delivers limestone gravel for businesses and homeowners. MGC Supply is your solution supplier and is proud to sponsor all the teams in Eastern Kentucky. 2590 U.S. Highway 23 South Pottville, Kentucky, 41501. Give them a call today at 606-433-0077. Or you can call them at 606-794-6765.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Ethan Cummings, co-host Sam Collier, and if you're just now tuning in with us, we have new Hazard High School football coach, Matt Chandler. Thanks once again for being here with us, Coach. Coach, we know you're opening up your season at home against Martin County. That's a team that beat the Bulldogs 20-7 last season. How do you plan to make the outcome different this season?
Well, we do get to open that game at home, and as you all know, playing at Hazard in the Holler is definitely an advantage when things are going well and people are excited.
Absolutely.
But really it's just been that when you take over a program, that first game means more in that first year than it typically does, and it's always great to start the season well. But I think with the way things went last year, and this being an example of a game from last year that, you go back and watch the film, could have gone either way. It was especially oh yeah, absolutely. But we've just tried to really talk about that game a lot through the off season. We've tried to talk about how much that game means for us to get started on the right foot, and how big it's going to be to start this new era of our program. But all the little things that we've done so far. I mentioned the weight room and the off season, and how hard these guys worked in June and so far in July. Hopefully it's a culmination of things that will lead us to hopefully getting a win to start the season. But again, Martin County is going to be a good football team. They're going to be physical,
They're
very physical, and they are a run-heavy team.
Yep.
So teams like that, we scrimmage Bell County this coming week, and
seems like a lot of those Pikeville teams are very run-heavy.
yeah, and they have an advantage because they don't do a whole lot on offense, but they execute it very, very well.
Yep.
And you don't see it as much. So, we've thrown 7-on-7 all July.
Yep.
We'll see it some against Bell this week, but then we'll go play Betsy Lane, who's more of a spread team. So
Bell County lost a lot of key players after this season.
they lost a few.
17 seniors.
Yeah, they did. And they lost Mr. Football,
Yes,
which,
they did. I mean, he had an amazing career.
Right. But we're hoping we just go compete in that and set us up for the Martin County game, because it'll be really good to see two run-heavy teams early in the year.
Let's talk about Max Pelfrey for a minute. Your quarterback. Tell me what it is. Tell me what it's like to coach a player like Max.
I've really enjoyed coaching Max so far because, he's really dedicated, not just on the field but off the field, to learning our system, to getting better in the system, and understanding what it takes to play quarterback for us. We try to, we put a lot on the quarterbacks in terms of what they need to know, but on the field, in terms of decision making, we try to keep it simple, keep simple reads.
Yeah.
And he's really bought into that. He's done a significantly better job through 7-on-7s of just kind of taking what's there, taking what a defense gives him, but at the same time, he's got a strong enough arm that he can hit people over the top when we get open.
Yeah. Well, last year I seen where it was a struggle for him back there at the quarterback position due to the fact he had to scramble a lot.
Yes.
And it ended up leading the team in rushing yards.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a good thing to have a quarterback leading you in rushing yards, but that's not
not the way you want to go about it.
Exactly.
And he'll run the football for us some. We've worked on, some quarterback run stuff, and he'll be able to pull it and run it when he needs to. But
unless he's like Lamar Jackson,
then
you can
right.
lead the team in rushing yards and be all right.
That wouldn't be bad to have a guy like Lamar
The
Jackson.
day we see a quarterback like Lamar Jackson in the mountains is the day that the world is going to.
Hopefully, is at hazard if he is.
Yeah,
so.
really.
Coach, you're coming into a program that only won one game last season, right? When you go through a season, trust me, coaching at small schools, I've been there, and you only have those seasons to where it's a long season, you only win one game. Their confidence levels had to have got low at some point. How have you been able to build their confidence back up after a season like last year?
I think getting started when we did in the off season and seeing success in the weight room helped. Those 6:30 a.m.s when we had really good numbers of kids, pretty much, our entire roster that we have right now, we're very dedicated to being there 3 days a week. And that was the first step, was seeing them get stronger. And when they saw the weight room numbers start to go up, they knew that they could go do things physically that they couldn't do a year ago. And then the other thing, too, is just I've tried to put us in competitive situations this summer, like with 7-on-7, and we've had a couple of days where we've done a lot of 11-on-11 work in practice just to get confident that absolutely. And there's always that balance of putting your team in a difficult situation and seeing how they respond to it, but also giving them opportunities to be successful, to build their confidence. And we've just tried to instill that belief that we've worked hard enough to earn success, and now we can go out and take it, and we can be confident that we have what it takes to do that.
We've yet to speak on some other names with you. We interviewed Race earlier, and then you've got Kenyon Higgins, Javon White, Memphis Blankenship.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about some improvements you've seen out of them players, and another name that I'd like to bring up is Davion Fullwood.
Yep.
The true freshman coming in. He's a beast.
Yeah, those older guys, the three seniors that you mentioned have been huge for us. I look at Memphis as a guy that probably won't come off the field for us defensively much, or if at all. He's also a guy that's going to take a significant number of carries for us in the backfield, and he's really bought into the system offensively and defensively and gotten better this summer.
What position does he play on defense?
He plays linebacker.
Okay.
And he moves some from inside to outside, but Javen White is a kid that has been super impressive. I mean, just he's dedicated himself. You know, he's been one of those guys that's always there, is always working, and has really, you know, you look at the numbers last year, he had a significant number of receiving yards in the offense, and it surprised me when I got into spring and now in the summer, his ability to catch and run. He's very explosive with the ball in his hands, and just always finds ways to get open. You know, Kenyon is a guy that, you know, we're probably going to ask a little bit less of on offense just because he can't come off the field on defense. I mean, he's our, you know, one of our best defensive linemen, and he's always in there causing havoc. He's a big boy. He's got a really good motor, and he's really come a long way as far as learning how to play the game.
Yeah. All of them Higgins.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and he's a kid that is now starting to figure out, you know, if I play with technique and I play gap sound every play, he can be in on a ton of plays for us.
Absolutely. You know, Coach, can we get an early prediction on your season record?
Well,
I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
You know, that's a tough question, and you know, a lot of people look at our record and they'll say, you know, you've got a really tough schedule, and we do. Yeah. There's not a game on our schedule that's not going to be a big challenge for us, and a lot of people look at the back half of the schedule and they see Corbin and Pikeville and Raceland, and they, you know, they talk about how you really have to do well in the first half, but the first half is difficult too. And you know, I would never put a number on it, but I do feel very confident that we'll come out ready to play and be competitive and play with a lot of intensity and passion this season. And I think that's the big thing that's, you know, it's been missing for a little while from the Hazard program.
The past couple of years have been a very rough couple of years.
But I think, you know, we're in a spot where we've got a community and we've got a roster full of kids that have absolutely hit the ground running to get things back to where they're going to be, and I think you'll see us take a big step towards that this year.
To get more kids to want to come and buy
yes.
into the program. You know, a lot of kids actually have transferred out of Hazard because of the program falling down to where it went. And, you know, if you bring it back up, who knows what you could end up with your team next year.
Right, and, you know, I've said this about Hazard. I compared a little bit to, you mentioned being at Danville earlier off air. You know, when we were at Danville, it was a really cool experience because it was how people in the community would identify. Yeah, you know, his uncle was an absolute stud. His cousin could absolutely fly and was on this team that accomplished this at the school.
That's the best culture to be around, I think.
And it's so similar to Hazard. Like all of our guys, you know, you can make connections to the history of the program that are in their family and people that accomplish these great things. And it means a lot to me to be a part of a program, and it's really an honor to lead a program that means so much to a community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Coach, we greatly appreciate you and your players coming on the show today. Hopefully we can have you guys back on in the future. We hope to see you back, and we wish you nothing but the best from Coach's Corner for this
Appreciate
season.
it. Thank you, guys.
Guys, when we come back, we'll have hot takes for you, pro hot takes, college hot takes, and high school hot takes. And then we have a very special surprise at the end that you won't want to miss. We're back with you in just a moment.
This is where it all started, right here on this farm. We may have grown over the years, but we've never lost sight of what was important to us. We're continuing that tradition today, and we always will be for generations to come.
Make sure to stop by Williams Optometry today. Make an appointment with their specialist, Dr. Debbie Williams or Dr. Kelly Bentley, by calling 606-633-4481 and pressing 1 for the appointment locations. Williams Optometry currently has 3 office locations. They're located in Whitesburg, Hindman, and Shelby Valley Plaza. Call Williams Optometry today. Again, at 606-633-4481 and press 1 for their locations.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Ethan Cummings. Co-host Sam Collier. Co-host Big E's back. Big Three is back in action here in Coach's Corner. Guys, first of all, before we get going in these next segments, we have to thank the Hazard Bulldogs for coming on. They did a fantastic job, Coach Chandler and his guys, and then also we have to thank our viewers at home. You guys tuning in allowed us to have a Season 2. Season 1 was such a success that we were able to have a Season 2 and include football. Last year was just a basketball. Yeah, so this year we're actually including football, which means more episodes, more time, and we cannot be more excited to do this this season. So, guys, let's jump right into it. Now, this first segment we have is just regular hot takes. This is where we talk about college, pro sports. Guys, my first question, the first hot take on the board is, can Kentucky hang with the top dogs in the SEC this season?
All right, so I'm starting off again like last year.
Yeah, just like last year. We'll go around the table.
All right. You already know where I'm at with this. I mean, we've had multiple conversations off there about this. Kentucky's team this year, under Mark Stoops, is honestly probably going to be his best team in the Mark Stoops era. And we're going to be very fast. We're going to be physical. Our defense is going to be the best that it's ever been. And that's been a struggle for Kentucky for the past few years, I feel like. So, my answer is yes. I think Kentucky can win 7 to 8 games this season.
No, that's not the question. I didn't say can Kentucky be mediocre in the SEC. I said can they be at the top.
7 to 8 games in the SEC is good.
Well, I
we've
mean,
had this conversation before. SEC is better than the SEC.
well, I mean, most of the time,
If
teams,
a team
the
in
top
SEC
team,
wins 7 to 8 games, then it's pretty good.
most of the times teams that are at the top of their conference win 9 to 10 games.
Well, I understand.
That's what I'm asking. Can they beat?
Can they be at the top of
Can
the
they
conference,
beat Georgia? Can they beat Alabama? Can they beat
I don't see
Texas?
us beating Georgia, but I see us competing with them unlike we have in the last few years. We've had Georgia on our schedule the past 2 years. Each year we was like optimistic Kentucky fans saying that we could take Georgia down and we can end up getting beat 50. This year, I don't see that happening. I think Georgia, we can actually give them a run for their money. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that we can beat them, but I know, I'll tell you 2 teams that I think Kentucky will beat this year, and that's Tennessee and Texas. I think that they can beat both of them teams, and I think that if somebody thinks that Kentucky can, they're highly mistaken.
Big E?
I mean, coming in, I'm not having high expectations because of the past. Kentucky will get 7 to 8 wins. 6 at the most. At the least, okay? But competing with the top dogs, I don't know. I have to see it first. Last year we competed with EKU. That was a close game. So coming in, we won't beat Georgia and we won't beat Texas. That's 2 power teams, and I know this is Texas' first year in the
Texas
SEC.
has a rude awakening in the SEC coming. Them and Oklahoma both. Those are.
I didn't interrupt you. Let me talk. We won't beat Texas. Texas is one of the best teams in the country. You could put them the top 5 team. It doesn't matter what conference you come from. If you're a good team, you're a good team. So I think we will beat Tennessee. I do believe that. I could see us going, winning 8 games, 9 games. 9 games is pushing it, but that's if we get lucky.
Well, with the way that the
Hang on one second. Before we go any further, I do want to apologize to you at home for the way the sound me and my producer has worked on this for the past hour, and this is the best that we can get it. But I promise you, by next week, the sound will be a lot better on the show. So just bear with us let's get through this episode this week, but next week will be a lot better. I'm going to go ahead and chime in. Do I think Kentucky can be at the top of the conference? No, I don't. They've never been at the top of the conference, even before you add Texas and Oklahoma. And Texas and Oklahoma traditionally is better than Kentucky at football. Kentucky's a basketball school. So looking at I think they'll be middle of the pack like they always are. They'll compete with some good teams, but the ones that they should lose to, they will lose to. There's no high expectations. There's no blowing it up. You know, there's no. I mean, all these Kentucky. This is one thing that I really can't stand about a lot of Kentucky fans is they're so unrealistic with their predictions. Right? They're like, oh, we're going to compete with Georgia. Oh, we're going to go beat Texas. Then you get beat by 30, and then it's the same old excuse. Well, that's Georgia. That's what you expect.
Well,
that's Georgia.
That's a delusional fan.
So,
I'm not delusional.
So I mean, here's the thing: you're going to lose to the teams you're supposed to lose to, and you're going to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat, and then there's going to be one or two wins that you get. The one or two close wins, maybe beating a Tennessee or a Missouri or a Ole Miss. You know, you'll get one or two of those, but you will not beat
That's the thing,
a Georgia.
Though, SEC in general is just a very tough conference to compete in. But like I said, I think that Kentucky can compete in the SEC this year, and I think that they can be a top 4 team.
Here's one more thing that with Kentucky will be as good as the O-line can take them.
Yeah.
If the O-line is not good, it doesn't matter who you have on the field. We have tons of receivers this year, but if the O-line doesn't hold up, then we'll be average.
Well, here's the thing: you're saying that you can be a top 4 team. Can your quarterback Vandergriff be a top QB in the SEC? Because last year he was a 3rd string at Georgia.
Well, we've gotten multiple quarterbacks throughout the years that have came from a team where they didn't get much playing time and they performed well at Kentucky.
Not recently.
Will Levis.
Not recently. Will Levis started at his previous school before he came to Kentucky. They just wasn't a higher conference school.
Yeah,
so did your quarterback last year. What was his name from NC State? He started at NC State. This quarterback right here has not started a game. Has played limited minutes.
I've not gotten to see very much on Vandergriff, so it's hard for me to speak on him. But from what I have seen from KSR and from practices and stuff from Mark Stoops talking about him, Vandergriff seems to have a really good relationship with his receivers, and that's the biggest thing as a quarterback. You know, if he can get them on the routes that they are running and constantly hit them on their routes, I think that he'd be good for us. He just needs to do his job, honestly. I don't care if he can be a top quarterback in the conference. I want him to be a top quarterback in Kentucky.
Well, I mean, you could have it. Devin Leary had good relationships with the receiver, but he couldn't get on the ball. He wasn't precise with his throwing.
Exactly.
He didn't make his reads. He went one read, throw the ball.
Then over their head.
Yeah. So Vandergriff, when me and my buddy Clay Hall at school, we got into it over school because he was like, he's coming from Georgia. He's a 5-star. I don't want a 3rd-string quarterback. I don't care what school he's coming from. I want a top guy. I want a 5-star coming in that you can build up. Yeah. I want a guy that's already starting. You know what I mean? That is going to come in and is going to produce. So I didn't like the move. I hope he's good. I do. But to go and get a 3rd string coming in, I don't care if he's from Georgia, Alabama, I don't think it was the right move.
Well, here's my thing, and it goes back to what I said about the first question is, you stated that you could be a top 4 team in the SEC. Well, you have the best team in Georgia, and in the SEC, number 1 team in the SEC is Georgia Bulldogs, and he wasn't even good enough to be backup on that team. But here's the thing, but you're telling me that he can lead you because, let's be honest, the most important position in the game of football is quarterback. So you're telling me that a guy who is 3rd string at the University of Georgia can lead you all to be a top 4 team in the SEC his first season at Kentucky?
Yes, I can. And here's the thing, he was a 3rd string.
Please back up your statement, because
I'm about to right now.
with facts, not
facts
imaginary
right here, okay?
facts.
All right, so listen. The quarterback that won with Georgia 2 years ago, they got drafted to the Rams.
Yeah.
Stetson Bennett.
Okay, that was the starter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Carson Beck is next up. Carson Beck is now there, and guess what? He is also the best quarterback in college football. It's hard for you to go to Georgia.
I wouldn't say he's the best, but he's up there.
Carson Beck is the best quarterback in college football this year.
Okay, that's a conversation for another day, but keep going.
Anyways, it's hard to get playing time at Georgia coming in because every time that you go there, there's always that next man up. You're never going to get playing time.
Do you think that, here's my question, honestly, do you think that if Georgia had plans for him to start, that they would have let him leave? With as much NIL money to go. No, they wouldn't.
It's technically not their decision, it was his.
And he wouldn't have backed it.
Yeah, I know, but if he thought he had a chance to play but at Georgia, he would have stayed.
I mean, I hope he's good, and he can be good.
Left him speechless.
He was a 5-star.
Yeah.
He was a 5-star, but being a 3rd string at Georgia, I don't like the move. You could have went and got someone else.
Okay, moving on. last year, Louisville Cardinals was at the top, played in the conference championship in the ACC. Can Coach Brom and the Cardinals be back at the top of the ACC and make another conference championship appearance?
Honestly, yes. I mean, it hurts me to say that, but that's all Louisville has going for them right now is their football team. Honestly, that's all they've got going for them. And I don't know what your current QB situation is right now after losing Jack Plummer, which Jack Plummer was a mediocre quarterback for y'all anyways.
He was a manager.
It was more so, right, it was more so everything that was around him, all the pieces that were around him that made it good. I guess it just goes to what you said with our quarterback situation. If your quarterback can lead you out to the promised land, quarterback is the best player on the field no matter what, best player on the team. If he can't lead your team, you can't do nothing. I think your defense is going to be great again.
Yeah, we returned just about everybody.
Exactly. I
defense.
think Louisville's defense can still be the top defense in the ACC, and that's going to make it.
Well, we were one of the top. We were actually second, and we led the nations in sacks last year.
Well, see, that's the thing. That's very tough for opponents to go up against.
Yeah, our D line's crazy.
But your offense, I don't know where it's going to be this year.
I'll let Big E talk, and then I'll give you my
here's
take.
the thing with Louisville. Louisville is going to be at the top of the ACC because the ACC is so down right now. This is, last year is one of the worst years I've seen in ACC football. So, of course, you're going to lead them in sacks. Of course, you're going to have a good team. And it's not that I think Louisville's a bad team. I still think they'd be middle of the pack even if ACC was at the top.
Right.
You know what I mean? But coming in, you got to look at who they're playing and what. It's not the same. You ain't got the same Clemson. You ain't got the same Miami.
You ain't got the same Notre Dame.
No.
Notre Dame used to be a school that everybody.
See, that's the thing is Notre Dame will continue to be. They'll be preseason ranked in the top 10, and they will stay in the top 25 all year. Miami was very good last season. They stayed in the top 25 all year. Florida State was honestly got robbed of being in the national championship. I mean, being in the playoffs.
That's the only team I'll give you.
And then Clemson is Dabo Swinney's going to have that team back. You know what I mean? He's going to have Clemson back. I think he will this season because he didn't lose anybody. You know what I mean? He's bringing that same team back. Veteran teams always do better at football.
Sure. I mean, that's a
and
team
you
that
look
beat
at
us in our bowl
Louisville.
game this year, so
You look at Louisville, and you look at Coach Brown's situation. He has a very talented quarterback who's not going to start his or second string. But by the time he's a junior, senior, he's going to be very good, Pierce Clarkson. But the starter we have coming in this year, Tyler Schultz, I think is his name, he's a 7-year starter. Yeah. He's on his seventh year. He's 7th year transfer. The reason he got a 7th year is because on his 6th year, last year, he got injured and wasn't able to. He's only able to play the preseason. He played at Texas Tech last year. So
a lot of those seasons have to be from injury. You might want to do some checking in on that. He might not be able to stay on the field long.
Last year was the only full season that he missed. I've already checked into his statistics. Last year was the full season. He got to play preseason for Texas Tech.
Is there any stats that stood out to you?
Well, really, and then Coach Brum said this in an interview. The one stat is that he's so mobile. He can throw out of the pocket. He's got an arm, but his running numbers would put you in mind of Malik Cunningham that used to be at Louisville, right? That's been his injury problem. So what Coach Brom is trying to do, and he said this in a press conference, he's trying to make him stay more in the pocket. He's not going to let him run as much as what his previous teams have because when he's ran, that's what's caused most of his injuries on down the line in his career. So we're going to try to keep him in the pocket, throw it downfield, and use the running.
So what you're saying is if he
offense.
gets hit, he's pretty much hurt.
No, not necessarily. I mean, but I'm just saying that statistically, most of his injuries throughout his career
was on a run play.
Has been on him running and scrambling.
I don't like that.
So I don't like that.
But here's the thing, and this is what I predict to happen. I think that he's going to get us halfway through the season, and I think Pierce Clarkson's going to take over and ride it.
You better hope that's the case.
But he is. If you go back and you watch his highlights and you watch some game film on him from other schools, you'll see that he's a lot more than Jack Plummer. Jack Plummer was a game management
passer. Yeah, he was a pocket passer.
He was in game management.
And he didn't know how to read defenses.
No, and he was in game management. So he would make the easy plays.
You want to know what actually blows my mind since we're talking about Jack Plummer is that he is on an NFL roster right now.
Yes.
I don't know how, but he is.
Yep. So we'll move on from college. We'll get into a couple pros, and we'll go through these quick since we spent a lot of time on college. Guys, Will Levis is going into his first year being an NFL quarterback. can he make a turn into being a top 10 elite quarterback, or will he flop this season?
We don't know for sure that he's a starter yet, actually. If you've been seeing Titans training camp, you can call me a crazy Steelers fan all you want, but apparently Mason Rudolph has been giving him a run for his money.
Well, we all know that Will Levis is going to get the job.
They're not going to waste their time on Mason Rudolph.
No, I get that 100%. 100%. But, I think that that's just helping Will Levis. You didn't let me finish, though. It's helping Will Levis get that. He wants to be better. He wants to perform better because he's got somebody in there now that's threatening his starting spot. And obviously, like you said, he will end up with it because he's young and, they didn't draft him for no reason.
Yeah.
Will he be a top 10 quarterback, though? No. Absolutely
By the
not.
end of the season?
No, never.
He's from Kentucky.
I know
short.
this. 100%. I know this.
I was just making sure.
No, I can name 15 quarterbacks right now that are better than
We
him.
don't need you to.
I'm just saying that he's not going to be there until maybe 2 or 3 more years down the road, maybe. But will he flop? I wouldn't necessarily say that he'll flop either. He's going to be a good quarterback for the Titans for the foreseeable future. I just don't think that he can be a top 10 quarterback in the league. That's pushing.
I definitely think Will Levis will be better this year. If you look at his receiving core, he's got D-Hop and Calvin Ridley, two of the best route runners in the league. And D-Hop, he can go up and catch anything. It doesn't matter his age right now. He's still one of the best receivers in the league, I think. And you got Derrick Henry's backup last year. He was phenomenal. He was a phenomenal running back too.
He really was.
So he can catch the ball. He can catch the ball better than Derrick Henry. He can run. He's fast. So I don't think that'll be a problem there. Being top 10, there's no shot. I don't see him. It's hard to become a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. It is
Especially
first year.
Two.
Yeah.
The only person that has been able to do that in the past 10 years, I can name 2 of them. It's Patrick Mahomes and C.J. Stroud. Nobody else has been able to do that.
You can debate Jordan
You
Love.
do realize Lamar Jackson was the MVP year 2.
Year 2?
Year 2.
We're saying year 1.
No, he just said that it's hard to become a top 10 quarterback by year 2.
We're going off a quarterback throwing the ball.
And C.J. Stroud, I don't think he'll win MVP this year.
They might not win MVP, but he's a top 10 quarterback. What has Lamar done in the playoffs?
Exactly.
What's C.J. Stroud done in the playoffs?
It's his first year.
Did Lamar get MVP last year?
Yes.
Actually,
how?
He's 2-time MVP.
I don't know
how. Go look at his numbers. What do you mean how?
C.J.
Go look at his numbers.
in the playoffs.
C.J. Stroud actually made it to the.
But the MVP isn't about the playoffs. The MVP is a regular season MVP. No, that's why they have a Super Bowl MVP.
You missed on that.
Yeah.
That's regular season. But still, Lamar Jackson was phenomenal last year. I think Lamar Jackson's gotten better as a passer. He's still elite running the ball. So, I like Lamar Jackson, but Will Levis, he won't be a top 10. I think he'll be top 20.
I don't think he'll be top 10 either. I think Will Levis is a quarterback who might have a decent year, but to me, he's not going to be any different than Ryan Tannehill. I think he'll be a starter, and then he'll go back and forth being a starter to back up throughout his career.
He's already better than Ryan Tannehill was.
I'm just saying, longevity-wise, he's going to end up being a starter and a backup on different teams.
The one thing that I can say about Will Levis that I do like is he's not afraid to get hit.
Yeah, but that's also Cam Newton wasn't afraid to get hit, and how far did that get him?
Yeah, you
got
can't.
to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but he didn't win it, and he didn't last in the league much longer after.
Right.
I'm saying longevity. Looking years down the line, I think he'll be a starter here, back up here, starter here, back up here.
Quarterback hard anymore, anyways.
Yeah.
So
unless they're running.
Well.
Okay. Last hot take before we move on. We got way too early Super Bowl prediction. Who you got? This is preseason. Way too early.
Yeah. This is way too early.
That's why I said way too early Super Bowl prediction. Stated it before I stated the question.
Let's see here. I don't know, man. I got a couple of things that I could say in mind.
Super Bowl prediction means 2. Not.
I'm thinking of.
Are we saying the winner? Or
no, we're just saying 2 teams that make it Super Bowl. NFC, AFC. You don't have to say
NFC. I'm going to go Lions. I'm going to go Detroit this year. I think that they've got every single bit of a chance to make it this year. Especially to push forward. And then out of that, the AFC, obviously, there's only one team that comes to mind until they get knocked down is the Chiefs. to say it, but it's the truth. You know, especially with them adding Hollywood Brown this year. You know, that adds another speedy receiver to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. Not as good, but similar to Tyreek Hill.
He also has the fastest wide receiver in the league now again with the rookie that they just
Xavier Worthy
that they just got in the draft. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, he is in a system right now where he can thrive because he's got the best tight end in football. He's got some of the fastest wide receivers, and I mean, he's got a great O-line.
Only thing they struggle in really is a running back game. They've never
Isaiah
really had a good game.
Isaiah Pacheco's pretty good. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't want to be a Pacheco fan until I watched him last year. I was like, he's undersized. He ain't that good. He proved everybody wrong. He proved me wrong.
You know, on the NFC side, 49ers, I mean, they got everybody back. It's hard not to go with them, you know what I mean? And on the AFC, I mean, I only got one team. You got the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean,
I'm a Steelers fan too, y'all, but I could not do that right there.
I think
that is, he says I'm a delusional Kentucky fan. That's a delusional Pittsburgh
Listen,
Steelers
you
fan.
bring in Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. I mean, that's two guys that, you know, is very talented. You still got the defense. You bring in
Patrick Queen from the Ravens.
Patrick Queen. You bring in the corner from the Panthers. So our defense is already, you know, it was already the best in the league. Now it's just up way better than everybody. And then, I mean, the skill guys.
Well, we bring back Alex Highsmith.
You bring back everybody. The only thing that's the offensive line. I still worry about the offensive line, but I still think it'll be fine.
This year.
We did. So, but the only thing with the Chiefs, I don't think the Chiefs. It's a liability on defense.
Yeah.
They lost their best corner in L'Jarius Sneed.
They lose Sneed, but they.
You know, so when you lose a big piece like that,
Jones,
one player ain't
so who'd you say? Who was your
49ers Steelers? Bring it back out over rivalry.
I would love to see that.
For me, I think, and I'm obviously the AFC. I think Baltimore is going to make it. I think this is the year.
That's the loser.
This is the year that. Well, first of all, we have been in the top of the division.
First off, you can't.
I didn't say anything about the Steelers. Is it your turn to talk?
Yeah, I can
No,
talk
it's
for
not.
you too.
No, it's not. So chill.
Something like that. Golly.
Quit acting like a toddler. Chill. Okay, thank you.
That's a dad coming out of it.
So, I got Baltimore. I think this is the year. You know, the Ravens did sign Derrick Henry, who's going to be a big force in the backfield this year.
He's not. He's going to get injured.
No, he is not washed, and no, he's not going to be injured.
He stays injured.
No, he doesn't.
2 yards a carry is what he averaged.
And then on the NFC side, you're going to be shocked by this. I think Green Bay.
I like that. See, that was my dark horse.
Here's the thing: is I think if you're going to pay Jordan Love that much money, then he better get you to a Super Bowl. And so he's going to be playing with everything he's got this season. I'm going with Green Bay on that side.
He could be one of those players that get paid and just stop playing too, though.
I mean,
he could be the Ben Simmons of football.
That's true. That's
you
true.
never know, man.
So, guys, we appreciate you staying on. Up next, we have high school hot takes. You won't want to miss it. We're back with you in just a moment.
Make sure to stop by Williams Optometry today. Make an appointment with their specialist, Dr. Debbie Williams or Dr. Kelly Bentley, by calling 606-633-4481 and pressing 1 for the appointment locations. Williams Optometry currently has 3 office locations. They're located in Whitesburg, Hindman, and Shelby Valley Plaza. Call Williams Optometry today. Again, at 606-633-4481 and press 1 for their locations.
Let the folks at Double Quick help you start your 2022 off right. They've brought back the Bourbon Pecan Coffee for a limited time only. You can also quench your thirst with the great deals on fountain drinks they offer daily. Double Quick is your one-stop shop for everything. They offer breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can stop by one of their many storefront locations spread throughout eastern Kentucky. Stop by and let Double Quick make your day better.
This is Bruce Walters from Bruce Walters Kia. By now, you know Kia is a great vehicle, and you know they come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So why should you buy from Bruce Walters Kia? At Bruce Walters Kia, we're going to change your oil for free for life. And what you do with that money you save is up to you. Come check out the 2022 Kia Carnival and the 2021 Kia Sorento. Only at Bruce Walters Kia in Pikeville. Or shop us online at brucewalterskia.com.
If you've recently had a loved one pass, bring them to Hall & Jones Funeral Home in Virgie, Kentucky. We let you grieve in peace instead of worrying about a heavy financial burden of burying a loved one. Here at Hall & Jones, we have multiple chapels that can accommodate any size family. We look forward to helping you and your family here at Hall & Jones.
MGC Supply is your complete source for drainage and erosion control products. MGC Supply also sells services and installs Cummins generators. MGC Supply sells and delivers limestone gravel for businesses and homeowners. MGC Supply is your solution supplier and is proud to sponsor all the teams in Eastern Kentucky. 2590 U.S. Highway 23 South Pottville, Kentucky, 41501. Give them a call today at 606-433-0077. Or you can call them at 606-794-6765.
Make sure to stop by Williams Optometry today. Make an appointment with their specialist, Dr. Debbie Williams or Dr. Kelly Bentley by calling 606-633-4481 and pressing 1 for the appointment locations. Williams Optometry currently has 3 office locations. They're located in Whitesburg, Hindman, and Shelby Valley Plaza. Call Williams Optometry today. Again, at 606-633-4481 and press 1 for their locations.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Ethan Cummings, co-host Sam Collier, co-host Big E. We appreciate you guys staying with us here. Guys, we've been able to keep good views so far. You know, we're still right at 20. When usually we get the hot takes, it starts last year, it starts to lower. So we just keep raising. You guys keep coming in.
I think they like when we argue with each other. I think they like that.
Well, that's kind of the point of the show. I mean, but yeah, it's a debate show for a reason, Sam. All right, guys, we got high school hot takes. First, we're going to talk about the guest we had on earlier, the Hazard Bulldogs. Can Coach Chandler bring the Dogs back to the top of 1A? Now, I'm not saying this season. I'm saying overall, can he get them back to where they need to be?
I think that he has a good start. You know, from what we just heard in his interview, he's getting the kids to buy into his program. And that's step number 1. You know, you got to get kids to buy into the program to get them to come out and play for you. And to, you know, just bring back that winning culture in Hazard. Hazard has been a team that everybody talked about for years in the mountains. In the past 2 years, it's been very, very rough on them. Yeah, I think that he can bring Hazard back to their full potential because there's plenty of athletes over there in Hazard, you know. And I think that a lot of them, they probably didn't even play the last 2 years because of how bad they was. Or they probably had a current situation with a coach. I think the biggest thing with schools nowadays, it's not about how good the team has been, it's about who's coaching the team.
Yep.
And I think that the kids have all of their faith in Matt Chandler, and I think he can do that.
Yep.
I think he can. Matt, he's a good coach. You know, obviously he was in Franklin. I think they was almost in state last year, or they went
was
in
the
state.
semifinals.
Semifinals as offensive coordinator. So I don't think it'll be this year, but you know, I think that middle school group they got coming up, they're phenomenal. I mean, they're one of the best teams in the state.
Yes.
So I think in a couple of years, Hazard will be, you know, right back there where they was in the past.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think Coach Chandler can get them to the top of 1A. It's going to be tough to get over that hump of being in Pikeville's district every year. I think, but there was a point in time a few years back that when Coach Mark Dixon was coaching Hazard, and even Coach Dan Howard, I think it was his first or second year, that they were able to beat beat Pikeville and compete with Pikeville, and it's just been here recently in these last couple of years that they haven't been able to. And I think that he can get them back to that spot. But here's the thing: people don't, a lot of people don't realize this, and everybody, especially fans of these sports teams, they're in that win now, like we got to win now mode, and they don't fully understand the concept of whenever you take over a program or a new coach gets a program, especially at a smaller school, an independent school like Hazard or Jenkins, or I don't consider Pikeville a small school, but they're independent. Phelps, it's a 4-year rebuild, man. It takes at least 3 to 4 years to rebuild a program when you first get control of it. You cannot expect somebody to come into a season or come take over a team and just flip the script overnight, because it don't happen. It comes with dedication, hard work, communication, and leadership. Those are the 4 key points it takes to rebuild a program, along with relationships. You have to be a relationships guy, especially at small schools. Relationships are key with your athletes and with your staff. So do I think they will this year? I think they'll be more competitive this year. I think they'll win a few more games this year. I don't think they'll be at the top of 1A, but I think eventually that they will get there, and I have full faith in Coach Chandler and his staff. So I do think they'll get there. Now, we're staying with 1A, moving into our next question. Can anybody stop the Pikeville Panthers in 1A this season?
First off, I'll go ahead and say this right now. Pikeville should not be a 1A school.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they're in 1A. I've never understood that, honestly. I mean, there's not no competition in it for them. All the big name teams they're all in 2 and 3A.
No, not even 2.
I disagree with you on that. I think that Raceland is a really good competitive game for them. The last 2 years that they play, especially last year, it's been like 7-6, 14-7.
The biggest thing with Raceland right now, though, is this is a down year for Raceland, from what I've heard from some people. They've lost a lot of players, and granted, Raceland is always a good team, but they're very young this year. And
they're a small school too,
right? And they're not going to be, these kids coming in from 8th grade to freshman year are going to be going up against a bunch of upperclassmen, such as juniors and seniors that these other teams are going to be facing. I don't think they're going to be able to compete like they did in middle school and high school, because high school is a completely different level, and Raceland's having to work with what they got right now. And I just don't see them, being as good as they usually are.
Big E, can anybody stop Pikeville?
No one can stop Pikeville. Like Sam was saying, Raceland, and y'all was saying Raceland's competitive. It was competitive last year in the regular season, but when it got to playoff time, Pikeville, I went to the state championship last year. Raceland held nothing to Pikeville. They got, Pikeville got in their heads. They was losing their minds, and they just let get away from them. So no one can stop Pikeville in 1A. No, I don't think anybody. The only team I think that can compete with Pikeville in the state is Bullpen.
Now, I disagree with you there. I think there's a lot of, if you're taking the classes out and you're just saying anybody in the state, there's a lot of 6A schools that I think can beat Pikeville. I think there's a lot of I think there's a few 5A schools that can. I think Belfry can beat Pikeville, and they're a 3A school.
No,
I do think Belfry can beat Pikeville.
No,
I'm telling you right now they can. I think they can. In my personal opinion, we're all stating on opinions here.
Right.
You don't think they can? I think they can. So, looking at it, I don't think anybody in 1A can beat Pikeville. I do think that if there is a team that beats Pikeville, it will be Raceland. And I think if they do beat them, it'll be in the regular season. It won't be. Yeah, because you look at the past 2 years. I mean, last year they were saying that Raceland wasn't going to be as competitive with Pikeville as they was the year before, and they were. That goes back to the statement
of saying
that
game, and it was a single digits game.
It was 7-6 was the final score.
But they lose Logan Lundy. Logan Lundy is one of the best quarterbacks around.
Yeah.
He was around here. You lose the quarterback, and like we said for Kentucky, the quarterback is the most important position. So if they don't have somebody to fill that spot, it doesn't matter how many skill guys you got. If he can't get the ball out, then it doesn't matter. So you have to see what they got at the quarterback.
Well, speaking of quarterbacks, that leads us into our next question. How far can QB1 Gunnar Holbrook and the Letcher County Cougars go this season? They returned just about everybody. They only lost 3 seniors. 4 seniors. So returning everybody. How far can they
Two of
go?
them were starters, and I don't think the other two really played as
Yeah, no, they all played.
They all played. But how far do you think they'll go this season?
I think that this year they can have a better season. You know, especially from what I've heard from multiple people. You know, I've heard a lot.
Sam's got sources.
Yeah, Sam's
got sources.
Sam's got sources. Now, I've heard that y'all have had a really good 7-on-7 this year, and you know that's a start. You know, from last year to this year, y'all wasn't able to do as good in 7-on-7. Actually, y'all done terrible from what I heard.
Yep.
And coming into this year, you know, I think all the kids are buying into the program now, and y'all are going to be very, very fast. Very fast.
Really fast, yes.
So, speed kills. Speed kills. Nowadays. I think that LCC can go as far as Gunner can go on the offensive side. I think the defense is going to be fine. I think they've got one of the best, if not the best, cornerbacks in the mountains in Gavin Ramsey and Speedy. He's a pure athlete. I mean, he's good at everything he does. Anything that he plays, he's good at. But football is his calling. And, I mean, look out. The kid could honestly probably get some scholarships this year for how he plays. I think that LCC can do good. And I'm excited to see what they can do.
I'm excited about this season. This year, you just feel a little change. You know what I mean? I feel like a little change is happening. You know, we're getting a little bit more upbeat in how we play and things. Everybody's excited. Like Sam said, we're all buying in. We've changed some things. You know, we've got people playing different positions. Losing 4 seniors.
Including you.
Yeah, including me. You know, I've moved to right tackle this season. We brought in a new center. So, but losing 4 seniors is still rough. You know what I mean? You lose Cooper, who's a great DN. You know, going to MIT. You lose Dawson Corney. You lose 2 other guys. So, I feel like Gunner is going to have a great year. I mean, he's got, he's got everybody around him supporting him. You know, he's got guys outside. He's got a good running backs. So, for Gunner, he's going to take a step up, and I see us, going pretty far this year.
How far?
I see us second, third round.
Okay.
Winning district.
I don't think we can't win district. I think it'll be tough. Corbin lost a lot last year. They bring in a new coach. You're going to see how it goes. So, I think it's definitely up for grabs.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach?
I think that, I think that Gunner's phenomenal. He's a great kid on and off the field, and I think he's going to have a tremendous season.
Yeah.
I think that, you guys return a lot of your players, I think. And here's the thing is you return all your players, and they're in the same system. Coach Junior Matthews has been there for,
I think it's his eighth
or ninth year, and he's been working that system in for that many years, and he's had a lot of success. He's had a lot of bumps in the road. But I think this year is going to be that year and that team. If it's, if what I'm hearing and what Coach Sam's hearing is true about the speed and how well you guys did in 7-on-7, I think it,
track running.
Yeah, you do have. That's what I was going to mention him. He's a Swiss Army knife there. Can about do anything. He plays special teams, plays offense, plays defense.
Everything.
I mean, kind of compare him to Debo Samuel.
He's the punter.
He does everything. So I think that I'm going to go as far as saying, to me, I think you all can win district. Now, how far you can go past that? Corbin, the downfall they're going to have is they got a new coach with a new system, and they lost like 17 seniors. Basically they're going to have a lot new.
We got 9 or 10, I think.
9 or 10.
Yeah.
So, and moving into the season, I think you guys can win district. Now, times may change as you guys start playing. I don't know. You can't predict the future.
Injuries, that killed us last year.
But I think Gunner's success this year, I think he can lead the team, but his success is going to depend on his offensive line.
Yeah. It always does. It always does. If we aren't good up front, we wasn't good up front last year. I'll say it right here where everybody can say we wasn't good. We got to be better. If we're not better, then Gunner can't play as well. So if we don't step up and take that step in the right direction to get better and to protect him, then our team isn't going to be nothing.
Right. Well, with you at right tackle and Tripp at left, I think that Gunner's got a pretty good year this year on the outside.
We brought everybody back from the offensive line. We only lost one guy. We lost Lincoln.
Yeah.
That was a huge loss. But we bring in a junior that is, he's been sitting behind me for a couple of years, but I mean, I think he's better than me at center.
Yeah.
I like him at center better. So to add that piece in, I think that you return everybody. You got a new guy coming in, but he's doing great. I think we're taking the right step in the right direction.
Absolutely. I've heard very good things on LCC this offseason. I'm excited to come watch y'all play Friday nights, man.
Guys, last high school hot take. Out of now, we're not going to sit here and class this. I'm going to word this. Who would be your dark horse team this season? A team that nobody really thinks is going to be that great, but could come out and do some damage. Who's that team for you?
I won't necessarily say that this team isn't somebody that people are going to think they're that great, but I think a dark horse, especially with them being over where they're at, Johnson Central. I think Johnson Central's got a good team.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that ain't no dark horse, bub.
That's everybody knows they're good, bub.
A dark horse, I don't know. I guess I can say Shelby Valley. They had a good season last year. They lose the quarterback in West Osborne, but I still think they've got really good talent.
Yep.
So yeah, give me Valley.
I mean, you might call me biased or whatever, but I think we're a dark horse team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody looks at us, they say, "Oh, you're going to get second or third in the division. You're going to lose to Corbin, and you're going to be out first round." It's like, this year I don't think that. I think that we're a team that can come in and compete, and I think we can beat Corbin. You know what I mean? We got to play our best. But I think we're a dark horse, and a lot of people are going to find that out come August 23rd.
I think that I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm nowhere near biased. I don't really watch a lot of high school football, but I will say I think that Hazard will be a dark horse this season, and not because we had him on the show today, but because Evan's sitting right here, my brother. I've said this many a times that I think Max Pelfrey is one of the best quarterbacks in the mountains. He's so when he's healthy and he has a line that can block for him, he is so smooth with his throws. His IQ level is through the roof, and he can get out of the pocket. He can move with it. He can do it if he has the line. Last year he had injury problems because he had no offensive line. But I'm telling you right now, I think that if the line will protect Max, then Hazard could definitely be a dark horse. Now, I don't think they can beat Pikeville. I'm not crazy, but I think they can upset some teams on their schedule.
Yeah, 100%.
Guys, with that being said, we have one more segment for you, Sammy's Top 10. You won't want to miss it. We'll be back with you in just a moment.
Make sure to stop by Williams Optometry today. Make an appointment with their specialist, Dr. Debbie Williams or Dr. Kelly Bentley, by calling 606-633-4481 and pressing 1 for the appointment locations. Williams Optometry currently has 3 office locations. They're located in Whitesburg, Hindman, and Shelby Valley Plaza. Call Williams Optometry today. Again, at 606-633-4481 and press 1 for their locations.
Let the folks at Double Quick help you start your 2022 off right. They've brought back the Bourbon Pecan Coffee for a limited time only. You can also quench your thirst with the great deals on fountain drinks they offer daily. Double Quick is your one-stop shop for everything. They offer breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can stop by one of their many storefront locations spread throughout eastern Kentucky. Stop by and let Double Quick make your day better.
MGC Supply is your complete source for drainage and erosion control products. MGC Supply also sells services and installs Cummins generators. MGC Supply sells and delivers limestone gravel for businesses and homeowners. MGC Supply is your solution supplier and is proud to sponsor all the teams in Eastern Kentucky. 2590 U.S. Highway 23 South Pikeville, Kentucky, 41501. Give them a call today at 606-433-0077. Or you can call them at 606-794-6765.
This is Bruce Walters from Bruce Walters Kia. By now, you know Kia is a great vehicle, and you know they come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So why should you buy from Bruce Walters Kia? At Bruce Walters Kia, we're going to change your oil for free for life. And what you do with that money you save is up to you. Come check out the 2022 Kia Carnival and the 2021 Kia Sorento, only at Bruce Walters Kia in Pikeville. Or shop us online at brucewalterskia.com.
MGC Supply is your complete source for drainage and erosion control products. MGC Supply also sells services and installs Cummins generators. MGC Supply sells and delivers limestone gravel for businesses and homeowners. MGC Supply is your solution supplier and is proud to sponsor all the teams in Eastern Kentucky. 2590 U.S. Highway 23 South Pottville, Kentucky, 41501. Give them a call today at 606-433-0077. Or you can call them at 606-794-6765.
This is where it all started, right here on this farm. We may have grown over the years, but we've never lost sight of what was important to us. We're continuing that tradition today, and we always will be for generations to come.
Make sure to stop by Williams Optometry today. Make an appointment with their specialist, Dr. Debbie Williams or Dr. Kelly Bentley, by calling 606-633-4481 and pressing 1 for the appointment locations. Williams Optometry currently has 3 office locations. They're located in Whitesburg, Hindman, and Shelby Valley Plaza. Call Williams Optometry today. Again, at 606-633-4481 and press 1 for their locations.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Ethan Cummings, co-host Sam Collier, co-host Big E. Guys, once again, we can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and continuing to support this show. We love doing it. We love being able to give coaches a place that they can come on and talk freely about their programs, and players to come get interview experience, because as you know, like whenever you go to get recruited by colleges, you're going to be sitting in an interview. This is a great experience for them, so we really enjoy doing it, but we couldn't do it without you at home. Secondly, before we get into this segment, I'd like to apologize from us and from Coach's Corner here for the sound of there's probably a noise going on that you guys have to listen to us over top. Although our views have stayed great throughout the show, we appreciate you staying on. The technical difficulties will be fixed by next week. We will not have these problems next week. I can't promise.
How many times did we say that?
I can't promise that we. No, you didn't let me finish. I cannot promise that we will be on time next week, but I can promise that the voice, the sound will be fixed. Okay, we will get that fixed. We have an awesome producer, Sammy Whitaker, behind the scenes, who does everything for us behind the scenes to make this happen. So we couldn't do it without him, and I know for sure that he'll get this fixed, because he's like me. In his mind, he won't stop thinking about it until it's done. So moving in, we have our last segment of the evening, Sammy's Top 10. This is preseason Top 10. Now, the way this will work is he's going to get to tell us his top 10. We get to critique it, and then next week we will do the same top 10 and critique it again for new viewers. So we will still have this segment next week, but the top 10 won't change. So, Coach Sam, take us down your top 10 football teams preseason.
Oh, I know you're ready for this.
Oh, we're ready.
Oh, I know you're ready. All right, so listen. Before we get started on this, I am basing these rankings off of last season's performance. Okay.
Okay.
At number 10, coming in, I got Breathitt. I think they're going to have a better year this year, and I got them in at my number 10 in the mountains. At number 9, I got Paintsville Tigers coming in at number 9. At number 8, even though they lost their QB1, I still got Shelby Valley in this top 10. I got them at number 8, and I think, like I said earlier, I think they can be a dark horse. Number 7, got Betsy Lane. Number 6, I got Evans Cougs. I got Letcher County.
I don't like that.
I know you don't like that, but it's okay. And number 5, I've got Perry, and I know you don't like that either.
Nope.
But y'all didn't beat Perry last year, so it's hard for me to put you above them when they had come out on top.
I understand.
But you can use that as fuel, bud.
That's
Use
right.
that fuel. But number 4, this top 4, honestly, I feel like this top 4 should be everybody's top 4. Starting off with Lawrence County. Lawrence County's a tough team. They've always been a tough team, whatever sport
We
it is.
scrimmage it Friday.
Do you?
Yep, we go down there and
Heck yeah, man.
scrimmage.
Let me know about it.
I will.
We'll talk about it on the show soon. Number 3, Johnson Central. Number 2,
Sam's dark horse.
Yeah. I just really, you put me on the spot. I couldn't really think about nobody at the time being, you know. But number 2, I got Belford over on Pond Creek. Got them at number 2. I mean, this is a very, very run-heavy team. They're still good, but nobody's going to top Pikeville. Pikeville's number 1. And honestly, if they move out of my number 1 spot, Pikeville is having a very bad year.
I will say this before I let Big E go in on Sam. I will say that for those of you that, if you're from West Virginia, I know that D&D Sports Network covers West Virginia and some of the 16th region, but here on this show we only cover 14th and 15th region teams.
Yep.
So we know that there are good teams in West Virginia.
Yes.
We know that there are good teams in other regions, but we just don't cover them, okay? So please don't hold that against us. We support all these mountain athletes. I just wanted to make that very clear. And I also wanted to make something clear to Sam. These are preseason top 10s for this year. If we wanted a top 10 from last year's performances, we could have done that last year on the show. So,
have you watched anybody play this year, Ethan?
No, but you're
Have I
but
watched anybody play this year,
statistically,
where's the stats at? They haven't played.
Statistically, I'm just saying.
Statistically, they
Look
don't
at
got
you.
any.
Go look at the players that are returning, the players that are leaving.
Okay.
You don't just base
Definitely
it on the
more
record
research
and
on your
wins
top
last
10.
year.
Okay, understand.
Big E, go ahead, light into it.
So first I'm going to come in here at Paintsville, number 9. Paintsville had one of their worst seasons last year.
Yes,
you know, nothing bad towards Paintsville, but I mean, Paintsville is a team that, you know, they're known for football. That's what they live for at Paintsville, is football. So for them to have that bad of a season, I don't think Paintsville should be on this list. I think you move Paintsville off of it.
Who would you put in their place?
Put in their place, I don't know. I'd really have to think about it. But you could go somewhere, Martin. You could put in Martin there. You could slide in Hazard there. I know they had a bad year last year, but looking at, you know, bringing in a new coach, I still think they're better than Paintsville. Coming in Chevy Valley. Chevy Valley lost double-digit seniors last year. I don't know how many, but they lost a lot. And they do return some guys, but I still think you move Chevy Valley down. I'd put Breathitt at that 8 spot because Breathitt, they did lose their big right tackle. I think it was to Perry. He left me with the Perry. But I'd move Breathitt in the 8 spot. For me, you know, I don't like Perry being over Letcher. You're looking off of last year. Last year we had tons of injuries. I mean, we had Script. He was out most of the season. Isaac, you know, he was always he got hurt last year. Gunner, he was hurt last year against against Perry. So that game last year, if we had a full team, we win that game. I know we win that game if we're healthy. So I would like to see us above Perry, and I like us better than Lawrence. Lawrence is they're a good team, don't get me wrong, but I think their conference, I think their division isn't, too hard. Are they a 2 or 3A school?
Lawrence is 2A, I think.
2A, yeah, so, I'd like us up there. And then your top 3, the only thing I would do, I think Johnson is better than Belfry this year. Belfry does lose the Crum kid, number 11, who was a phenomenal athlete
But
last
Belfry's
year.
also gained a slew of transfers over the season.
Well, they might have, but I still
coming from West Virginia.
Yeah.
I still like Johnson better than Belfry, and that's it.
Well, here's my thing about it, right, is I'm fine with your top 3. I think Pikeville's 1, I think Belfry's 2, I think Johnson's 3. I would go as far as saying I think Lawrence is 4. I agree with Big E. I think Letcher will be better than Perry. You got to think Perry graduated a lot of seniors from last year's team. And we can say shoulda, coulda, woulda. You didn't beat them last year. But and it may have been due to injuries. It may have been whatever
they
it was. Okay, whatever it was, they did beat you. But I will say, you all only lost 4 seniors. They lost a slew of seniors, so you are going to be a more veteran team. So I would go as far as putting
this top 10.
I would go. Yeah, as the season goes, you'll go up and down. But I think that Letcher should move into 5, and I would move Perry out. I would probably move Perry back to 10. Right. Then you look at it and you move. I think that Coach Johnson and Shelby Valley, I would move them up to that 6th spot. I think that Shelby Valley is going to be good this season. Although they did lose Russ Osborne, they have a really young and good quarterback in Brady Johnson that's going to be starting for them this season.
They lost a whole lot more than that. They lost their whole offensive line pretty much.
Yeah,
besides 2 kids.
Yeah, but I still think that they're going new coach, new system. I'm going to give them the nod at 6. Okay. I think Betsy Lane's good at 7. I think that I'm like Big E. I think you should move Martin in at 8, Hazard in at 9. No, I think you should move Breathitt up to 9 and Hazard in at 10. So that's
Where
how.
Does Perry go on the list? Because you moved Perry down to 10.
I would probably move Perry off. I think Hazard's going to have a better season than Perry.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a hot take.
That's a hot take. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. I may be wrong about that, but I do think that Hazard will have a better season. Now, time will tell. Coach Mark Dixon is one of the best coaches to ever coach the game in the mountains. You know, he had a tremendous success at Hazard, and that success has followed him some at Perry. But I always said he will eventually build something there at Perry. Yep. It's just going. It's like we said earlier. It's one of those things where it don't happen overnight. Him and Coach Fugit are legendary coaches. Yep. So, and it's just taking them time building something at Perry, but eventually they will have. They will
at Perry.
They're tough. They're tough.
They're good.
The whole thing with Hazard and Perry too is keeping those middle school teams together because they just exchange plays.
Yeah,
you know, one year a kid will be at Hazard, and the next year they'll be at Perry, and Perry and Hazard. You know, they're back and forth. But that would be my. Other than that, I think your top 3's fine. Top 4's fine. I would change everything else. Guys, with that being said, we do have one more segment that we're going to talk about when we come back after this short 30-second break. We'll be back with you in just a moment.
MGC Supply is your complete source for drainage and erosion control products. MGC Supply also sells services and installs Cummins generators. MGC Supply sells and delivers limestone gravel for businesses and homeowners. MGC Supply is your solution supplier and is proud to sponsor all the teams in Eastern Kentucky. 2590 U.S. Highway 23 South Pottville, Kentucky, 41501. Give them a call today at 606-433-0077. Or you can call them at 606-794-6765.
This is Bruce Walters from Bruce Walters Kia. By now, you know Kia is a great vehicle, and you know they come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So why should you buy from Bruce Walters Kia? At Bruce Walters Kia, we're going to change your oil for free for life. And what you do with that money you save is up to you. Come check out the 2022 Kia Carnival and the 2021 Kia Sorento. Only at Bruce Walters Kia in Pikeville. Or shop us online at brucewalterskia.com.
MGC Supply is your complete source for drainage and erosion control products. MGC Supply also sells services and installs Cummins generators. MGC Supply sells and delivers limestone gravel for businesses and homeowners. MGC Supply is your solution supplier and is proud to sponsor all the teams in Eastern Kentucky. 2590 U.S. Highway 23 South Pottville, Kentucky, 41501. Give them a call today at 606-433-0077. Or you can call them at 606-794-6765.
Make sure to stop by Williams Optometry today. Make an appointment with their specialist, Dr. Debbie Williams or Dr. Kelly Bentley, by calling 606-633-4481 and pressing 1 for the appointment locations. Williams Optometry, currently has 3 office locations. They're located in Whitesburg, Hindman, and Shelby Valley Plaza. Call Williams Optometry today. Again, at 606-633-4481 and press 1 for their locations.
Let the folks at Double Quick help you start your 2022 off right. They've brought back the Bourbon Pecan Coffee for a limited time only. You can also quench your thirst with the great deals on fountain drinks they offer daily. Double Quick is your one-stop shop for everything. They offer breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can stop by one of their many storefront locations spread throughout eastern Kentucky. Stop by and let Double Quick make your day better.
Make sure to stop by Williams Optometry today. Make an appointment with their specialist, Dr. Debbie Williams or Dr. Kelly Bentley, by calling 606-633-4481 and pressing 1 for the appointment locations. Williams Optometry currently has 3 office locations. They're located in Whitesburg, Hindman, and Shelby Valley Plaza. Call Williams Optometry today. Again, at 606-633-4481 and press 1 for their locations.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Ethan Cummings, co-host Sam Collier, co-host Big E. Guys, last season, unfortunately, due to some unfortunate circumstances, I can't remember what it was, but there's something that happened, and we wasn't able to have our last show, which hopefully that's not the case this season. But we did have pick'ems going on.
Tell them about the bet. Go ahead and give them a little.
So a little history about the bet is at the beginning of the season last year, we said that all 3 of us were picking the games. We started with high school football in October and went all the way through basketball season. And the person who had the best record would get to pie the 2 losers in the face. Right?
Tell them who that winner is.
And just so happens that I'm the winner.
He's a cheater, is what he is.
No, if you go back and watch the last episode, you could see that I was up by 1 on Evan. And Sam, I don't even know why he's so upset, because he wasn't even in the race.
I was.
He was 14. He was like 14 games behind us.
I wanted the Coco host to be able to.
But here was the records. I went 187 wins to 72 losses. Big E went 186 to 73 losses, and Coach Sam went 173 to 86 losses.
Don't let them laugh, because I was down by almost 60 games last year.
It wasn't that much. It was probably like 30 or 40 games.
Well, I was down by a lot.
You had a losing record.
By 14.
But with that, where we didn't get to have the last episode, if you could, just go ahead and bring them on over here. We have 2 plates full of whipped cream. Daryl don't splice with enough to afford pies, so we got to go with whipped cream from the dollar store. So we, well.
How you gonna do this? You gonna stand up?
Here it goes. Yeah. No, I'm not gonna stand up. I'm just gonna. Ready? Set.
Oh yeah.
There you go. We got the 2 losers of pick'ems. Next week we will announce. Next week is the week before we start our new pick'em segment up, and we will announce the next bet for this season's pick'ems, because we always do something in this nature. Guys, we appreciate you tuning in today. We will see you guys next week here on Coach's Corner. Hopefully we can start on time. Thank you, guys. We'll be right back.